Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back from Shanghai, China. You're watching the first of its kind, a $1 million event in Auto Chess, the 2019 Auto Chess Invitational. $1 million prize pool, $450,000 for first place. 9 regions represented originally here at this event, involving 32 players. Of course, it started with qualifiers that anyone could have played in. I know you guys played and probably lost. Just kidding. Y'all didn't play. Y'all are too good. Y'all are too good. But you know, we have a classic. I know.
I don't know. I don't know if the math adds up on that one, but let's go with it. Let's go with it.
You're too good. Where you just it's not your time for the limelight on the stage.
Right.
It's your time on the studio stage.
Gotta let the other
into
players
the
have a chance, right?
Exactly. So thank you guys for your humbleness there. But so yesterday we had 32 players.
Yeah.
Today, 16, and now we're about to continue with our first semifinal, where again it's the top 4. We're worried about the top 4 right now, who are going to advance to the grand finals and guarantee themselves at least $18,000. But before I throw it to you guys, and before we get into the action here in match 3, we're going to hear from one of our other suave commentators. I believe it's Claytano.
I would say the players need to focus on getting their 2-star warriors specifically early on. There was a lot of people going goblins early, but I think the warriors were a little uncontested, where you can get the 2-star Tusk, Red Axe Chief, and Swordman, and then transition from there into either mages or possibly even warrior beast and hunters. And I think just trying to get into a 4th rank or higher is really just going to be all you need to advance into the final round on Sunday.
All right, yeah, we heard that from Claytano, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty accurate. I mean, honestly, I think it's just getting what's given to you, which sounds like obvious thing to say, but in the early game, you want to pick up things that you're not committing 100% on, whether it's goblins, whether it's warriors, whether it's hunters, just finding anything that's 2-star. But again, shredded with 0 items.
Jesus. I actually pulled back last game,
Yeah,
very
got 3rd.
impressively so. Yeah, that is so impressive with the start he had last game, but we see him again not getting any items. It's very unlucky, very unfortunate here.
Not the best start, but he does have a good start on as a 2-star Red Axe Chief. He's following Claytano's words of advice as the full warrior synergy unlocked as well.
I love that he's keeping a priest on his
Just in
bench
case.
here. Yeah, because if he does lose this round, he can just sell all of his units after this, go up to 10 gold, and start losing if he wishes. So smart play here by him. And then after this round ends and he gets a new roll of a new line of units, if he gets enough upgrades, he's going to sell the priest and try to go for a win streak instead.
Yeah,
it's close.
I was worried about Shredded's composition, even with the synergy and the 2-star. The DPS may not be there. The nice taunt, but I don't think it's going to last long enough to keep the ability from going off, and so the Heaven Bomber is able to get the best of him, and he's going to lose, immediately level up, but he's going to go for the open fort with the
Let's see, yeah. Let's see if he's going to do that or not.
Nope.
Or if he finds enough units to have a decent upgrade. He does find the Swordman, which is a really good upgrade. The question is it going to be enough or not? Maybe Shredded just... Have you seen Shredded actually open fort at all in any game?
No, and I think he's actually expressed previously during interviews and such how much he doesn't like open forting.
Okay.
How it gets punished and all of that. So it doesn't surprise me that he actually doesn't do it in the end, even though he does have the option available. The Cave Clan synergy, as well as just the DPS coming out from the level 1 Swordman, might just be enough.
Right. I mean, you can say that like being ready for anything and being versatile is the objectively best way to do it, which it is. But also having the humility to understand how good you are at doing different things can definitely be to your benefit. If you know that I'm not comfortable in open forting and I'm always losing when I'm doing that, maybe you shouldn't try it on the world stage.
Yeah, maybe not. It was close, but he's able to win this round, and we'll see if he can't turn that into a win streak later on. Everywhere else, though, it's looking pretty usual across the board. Azu, not the best start for him once again. Has a few goblins as well as just one fallen witcher. He has some pairs, witcher pairs that could be good if if the level 2 completions do come his way.
Let's go Witcher.
What? You want
Witcher. He has 2 pairs of both of them already.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's not too far off.
to make Witcher work, you kind of need to guarantee access to the 3 stars, right? And so it's all about, if you have them early, it's fine. And I mean, this is definitely the good start that you want for the potential to go to it.
If he gets a 2-star Fallen Witcher within the next coming round, he has an enormous power spike to propel himself into the mid to late game. And that would be actually super huge for him to have a good chance in this game. And we saw him doing basically the same thing in the previous game. Or in the previous lobby, if you will.
He does still lose this round, though. Ozzy's one of the players who's actually one of the... likes to go loose streaking a lot more than anyone else, and so he may be leaning towards that possibility. Hasn't leveled up to level 5 just yet. Only around half the lobby has, actually, to be fair. Looking at the general comps right now, some demons scattered through, of course. It's just one unit to unlock that synergy. I think for a split second we saw a couple of Knight synergies unlocked, but there's only one right now on Shake. Bomber may be leaning towards it, though.
And let's have a look at Chuck, see what he's working with here. He has opened with goblins, but also has a 3 warriors, so he's still trying to decide, it seems like, in which way he's going to go. I'm sure he's going to keep his goblin for quite some time, however. But probably even looking to get a 3rd one to get in there. It's a little bit better to have the 3 goblin bonus instead of the warrior bonus.
Yeah, but it's a nice flexible start either way. It's strong on multiple levels into the early game, and those strengths allow him to beat Shake on this round. Hasn't yet fully gotten a streak rolling because he did lose a couple of earlier rounds down to 94 HP. Actually, everyone's lost at least one round. Shredded, we saw him lose the very first round. He's actually the player at the top right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, Shredded might look in a good position. If he wants to keep his streak, he needs to go up a level.
Good 2 stars.
Jesus, holy smokes. Shredded kind of has it all here. I would skip those knights in a heartbeat. I don't know if I would level. Probably level or keep up to 10 gold. Yeah, that's good. There was 2 decisions, stay at the entrance point or level, and he was dividing right there until the end, much like I was, what he was going to do. But this is going to be so safe for him.
Yeah, he didn't even need to level up to win this fight, but he doesn't know that. He just wanted to guarantee his win streak no matter which direction he went. It's only at 3 right now, but with that level up and with all the 2-star units that he has, it should be an easy win streak for the next 5 rounds or so for him.
For sure. Yeah, he's looking really, really strong here. And he's all good way to actually move into a good backline with those hunters. He only really needs Dwarf Sniper to prolong himself into the late game here. And he doesn't even need Wind Ranger later on in the game because you usually want to replace that with Siren as soon as you get that.
But Wind Ranger, I think, is still a very powerful unit in the mid game. But right now, no need for him. Just the 4 warriors is all you need, and just the Igros Ranger because, you know, why not? It's a 2-star. It's all about the stars at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Is this a level 6 player on round 9?
It's basically Super Mario. Collect as many stars as possible, and you'll win the game.
Right.
Yeah. No, but seriously, he could actually go into the Beast Warrior strategy also. Swordman and Red Axe Chief could be nice for that. And he hasn't actually invested anything into Hunters yet.
Level 6 on round 9, though, is going to help Jinsu win this one against your Ken. Couple of 2-stars, couple of 1-stars. And it's Goblins with the, I think, leaning towards going Mage, going Dragon Mage specifically, but not a full commit on any direction just yet.
Right. No, for sure. And it does make sense to have the Mage backline, especially when you have Heaven Bomber dealing a lot of magic damage, and even Skybreaker deals some amount with his little better assault there. So, yeah, no, for sure. Jins are looking pretty strong here. One of the few level 6 in this game so far. Chuck also level 6. And the rest of the lobby is level 5. Let's have a look at Asu being in the bottom of the health here. I believe is he still lose streak? Let's have a look at the streaks.
Yeah, he's on a 5 lose streak right now, so he's tied with Shake onto that. But Shredded and Jinsu both on a win streak.
It's interesting he's going feathered here again. We did see
Please don't go feathered.
Please don't do it. He did get into top 4. I think it's the first time we see a feathered lineup in top 4 last game.
Top 4? I think it was like 5th or something. It wasn't, I mean, still though.
Not impressive at all.
Yeah, with so many 3-star units that we saw on that board, only getting top 4 I think is still not as good as you'd want to be.
I agree with the way you're saying it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not, I'm not but again, I mean, these are pro players, and we're just schmucks on a couch.
It's true. All right, let's have a look at Jinso, one of the other top streakers of this game. Actually has a lot more money than Shredded. And yeah, this was still... I'm actually impressed by him using such solo economy to keep his win streak going. Like, his board doesn't cost a lot of money, and it doesn't have a bench either. So he's able to hit interest while win streaking, which is kind of the best of two worlds.
Yeah, I mean, that's really lucky for him, though. He's going against Shredded right now, though, and you have to wonder, is Shredded's win streak stronger? And it does seem to be the case. Yeah. Shredded also has been spending a lot of money because he's been keeping his possibilities open for the late game, while Jinsu, not exactly the same idea. Jinsu has a clear direction, it seems, but not a lot on the sideboard to actually fully go that direction right now. Shredded, though, he has a lot of warriors. It looks like he is committed 100% to this warrior hunter composition.
Yeah, for sure. We can see there last round Jinsu playing against Shredded, and the reason why Jinsu's units work to beat the other players is that there are not a lot of upgraded units so far, especially 2-cost units. That means that they're going to have a lot lower health, and you can kind of burst them down with the mages plus the goblins. But against Shredded, he has all of these upgraded warriors, which are all tanky, especially Swordman. And it's going to survive that initial burst. It's going to be just fine against him, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Shredded goes into here. Whether he continues on the warriors, if he's going to go for the hunters in the end. He's going to go for that Siren, plus maybe a Soul Reaper to finish off that. He still hasn't really invested anything into any of them. The only real investment that he has is Swordman, and the rest of the units can be sold for full retail. So Shredder looking really good here, actually. It's kind of uncontested on his win streak. I think it's by far the strongest player in this lobby currently.
He was able to make good work of Shake just there. Shake, one of the lose streaking players, down at the bottom with 65 HP, though not the worst off. Azu actually 46. I mean, he's the lose streaker into second place guy, but this is looking like even worse position for him. But Shake right now, though, he's actually going to lose streak into Glacial Knights. It's the standard route. It's the most, dare I say, boring way to play this game. And so part of me is kind of glad he's in 7th place, but I'm going to be the neutral guy here and say, we believe in you. I hope you do better. But nonetheless, it's still not the strongest board on the field right now. Lacking in the Knights, a couple of them. Has a nice level 2 Hell Knight, but up against Shredded, this is, well, he's going to keep his lose streak. That's definitely a good thing.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think Shake is actually in a decent position in the way that there's only really one other Knight players in this lobby that's going barely Knights, and that's Husana. And Husana's economy is looking atrocious right now. Yeah. He has 76%. It's not really win streaking, it's not really lose streaking. Neither has he hit the interest point. So let's have a look at Husana's current board here and see what Shake's contender is going to be for those Knights.
Yeah, and by contrast, Shake's economy is actually looking very, very good. He's already had 50 gold at like round 13, which is basically on point for when you want to be at. While Loose Streaking gets another upgrade on one of his units, for Glacial rolling with the 2 Knights right now. Actually throws up to a 3rd Knight, gets the level up. Is this when he wants to stop lose streaking and start actually win streaking, or does he, with this sideboard, does he maybe want to lose streak just a little bit longer?
I think that he will continue lose streaking at least this round, because I don't think his board is strong enough to kind of compete with something, even Jinso at this point, which is the 2nd place in this lobby. But however, I think he does have a good springboard to kind of go into a win streak after the Wolf round. He can go up to level 7, and that means he has 4 Knights for Glacier. Hopefully get an upgrade rolling down at least to like 30 gold, and you should see him start kind of moving towards winning again. That's kind of the point where, and if he can do that, actually 46% is a great way to kind of continue into the late game.
Looking at Chuck's board, we saw him, I believe he was the player who had a little bit of a start towards actually, no, I don't know what we saw Chuck building at the very beginning, but nonetheless, he's just sitting on some warriors right now. You can see at the bottom, and a couple of mechs, or actually, I say couple, it's literally just one, but a couple of goblins thrown in. What direction is this board going to be going, though, do you think?
It's a little bit hard to say, because Chuck was at 39 gold before the interest hit, and he actually kept the Desperate Doctor. And that kind of leads me to believe that he wants to complete maybe his Warlock bonus with it, which is surprising because I don't see Desperate Doctor and Soul Reaper being great in the same build, unless you're going for maybe 6 Warriors with Berserker, Soul Reaper, and Desperate Doctor as your second Warlock. I think that's like the only reason I could see it. So maybe going into 6 Warriors after this, but we do see some mages on the board also, so could definitely be try to be a little bit flexible here, going into kind of the mage backline with the warrior frontline. Kind of a classic build, if you will. It's something we saw a lot more before Winter Sharper, then got added with the later patch.
True. Wolf round comes through. Everyone should be doing a good enough job here. Even the loose streakers should have a sideboard strong enough to defeat the Wolf round, and everyone has been successful with that. Good pickup on items for everyone. We haven't had a good look at the items just yet, but that's a nice, good Doom Arbiter to get picked up. Here are the items, and Shredded able to find a few, and it's a nice big Kira axe on him, but still significantly fewer than a lot of them. Bomberin absolutely coming out on top.
Jinso has 2 actually.
Oh!
Order Refresher. I was just about to say.
You got 1.5.
Yeah, actually, crazy. You could actually get 2 of them.
Yeah,
that would be insane.
It's only round 16. If he finds the items that he needs, that's good. And you put it on the Heaven Bomber, I believe, which is definitely the unit that you want to put on in the early game because it's uncommitted. You're going to sell that unit.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're completely right. For those who doesn't know, you can't actually move items in this game unless you sell the unit to move it into a new one. So once you commit it to a unit that you want to keep for the rest of the game, that is, as I said, committed. He's going to win against Shake here.
Yeah, even the 3-star Desperate Doctor cannot do enough to evade the Wrath of Jinsu's units. It's another interesting comp. This, I believe, Jinsu was the player that we were looking at, maybe going into the Dragon Mage, and that was still not a fully completed composition, though. Glacial Mechs?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
It looks like some sideboarded Knights, so it's just using the Mechs as a stand-in until the Knights get leveled up, but I don't hate this.
I mean, it's a fine early to mid-game build. Like, you know, all of these mechs are going to get advantage plus that Goblin bonus, but he has committed a fair amount of gold into that 2-star Ripper, as you don't sell it for full retail, of course. And also, like, he doesn't have the best economy that early and has, like, half life already, so I don't like G-Quin's position, really. Yeah,
he's on a 4-loss streak, make that 5th now that Shredded has done good work with his army. But yeah, he's not middling because he's on a 5-loss streak, but his sideboard doesn't really look super strong compared to other loss streakers at this point in the game. It's good economy though, so he has the opportunity to scale up. That could be a good pickup though, the 2-star Hell Knight.
For sure. The big problem with his lineup here is that mechs, they provide a lot of longevity in the way, like, they have all this regeneration, they have this extra shield, right? And it's kind of the same thing with 9. So it's basically 2 defensive alliances, which is not the best because then your damage output is not enough against your opponent. And finally, that's fine the Hell Knight too, as you said. So his damage increase is going to be bigger.
Is that really good for DPS though? Usually it's a Lightblade Knight that does a lot of DPS. The Hell Knight damage is up there, but once it hits 3 stars, speaking of 3 stars, that's a fair number of 3 stars on Azu. It's because of the Druids though, keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, Hell Knight actually deals quite a lot of damage for also being a tanky unit. It kind of does both. It's not until the very late game when you get a 3-star Silverblade Knight with items that you see it really trumping Hell Knight in damage. But in the early game, Hell Knight deals a ton of damage.
Shredded right now, 12 win streak. It is not the most we have seen. I think we saw a perfect game by a player, which meant that it was like a 20-something win streak. But still, this is a good amount.
Yeah, it does fine. Actually, I saw that Evil Knight in the beginning with that Aggresses, and I like him pushing for keeping his win streak, even though he has to invest money into a Evil Knight. That would probably not end up in his lineup in the end. But we see him picking up a Ghost Prophet super early, so could actually think about going for 4 Aggresses here, since he found the most difficult one. If he finds a Soul Reaper, you could go for all 4 of them.
Yeah, it might be a little overkill, especially at this point in the game, but I don't know. We've seen a lot of, I don't want to say off-meta builds, but at least a lot of diversity in the builds that have been successful. And Shredded definitely wants to find a win on this time. He's been doing good so far, but still, a first-place finish under his belt would make him more confident going into the final round. The win range doesn't do damage, though, and his streak is going to get broken by Azu, the feathered player, no less.
If there's one unit that's really good against a lot of physical damage and the warrior front line, it's going to be a 3-star Warfoot Sage.
Hey, he found the Soul Reaper. We're gonna see 4 Ursus.
I mean, if he moves Wind Ranger, because he's already not completed a Hunter 3-0, and he could actually move one of the Swordmen back to the board, he could have 4 Eggerses. Not sure if it's worth it yet, but I guess we'll see. Here we go.
Got Soul, yeah, you put Soul Reaper in.
Should take out that, yeah, should definitely take out that Wind Ranger, because he's not completing the Hunter setup. It's the creep right now, however, so no real rush. He's clearly going to win against this regardless.
He has time to figure it out, to figure out exactly where he wants to bring his synergy, and he's really close to the 3-star Swordsman as well, and that could be a huge upgrade for him. Azu, this is the player who just previously defeated him, going Feathered Hunter. And it's a bit controversial of a build. I guess that's a nice way to put it. But he's actually in 7th place right now, 40% HP, but he did lose streak. He actually has been sitting on that 40% HP for a while. He's currently on a 5-win streak. Another 3-star upgrade as well. This one, I think, I don't want to say he's been successful just yet, but this looks to be the most, potentially the most successful feather build we've seen so far.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also that Whisper's here is actually super nice here because it lets him get his 6 feathered units online. So he's going to have a kind of nice setup, and if he gets the right matchups and doesn't face too many hunters, he could actually be doing fine here. And we'll see if he's going to use this early advantage of the Druids to propel them well enough into the mid-game to claim a top 4 position. Because I don't think that feathered is really a setup you usually win with, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
No, and I think we've seen that multiple times. A couple of hunters, and actually, yeah, the only other hunter in play is gonna be Shredded. Right. So outside of the, I guess, the winning player, the top leading player, Azu should have a good time.
Also Shake, 2 hunter players, I believe.
Shake out hunter?
Yeah, I do think so.
No. The Azu is the only other hunter player.
Right. You're completely wrong. Or right, I mean.
Wow, okay. Wow. Well, you totally threw that in my face. That's fine. But look, Azu, though, he's actually able to put himself up into 5th place. And yes, I agree with you. I don't think Feathered Hunter is going to win this game. But coming off of a loss streak, to find a composition that is uncontested and the ability to climb up into the top 4, top 3, is a good way to qualify if you have, a couple of good positionings on other rounds.
For sure. As we say that, he does face the only hunter. However, Hunters on the other side is not really the strong part of that setup, so
yeah,
it's going to be fine.
We did forget that when Shredded went up against him, he lost.
Yeah.
So Oz is going to actually beat the top-ranking player, go up to 4th place right now. Hosanna just lost his own round, dropped down to 5th, and actually Shredded lost his own round again, dropped down to 62 HP. Jinsu is now on the top, so Shredded's lead has been almost evaporating.
Yeah, it's been decimated by the other players for sure. Wow!
Yep, that's why.
Holy smokes. That is a God of Thunder. 2-star and an additional one on the board. How do you get 4 of them?
I don't...
This early, this is insane. With an Orb Refresh, setup is so crazy.
There was absolutely an egg involved, I think, at one point. But even then, that's finding at least 3 God of Thunders, and he's only level 9. 30 gold, 2 wasn't even full roll down. So yeah, someone's been praying to RNGesus to find this composition. It's a little bit of a mishmash of synergies, but up against Shredded, let's see how well it fares.
Look at this God of Thunder. Boom. Adios, amigos.
The thing is, it's actually the full god. Not a single racial synergy is completed.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the level 2 god bonus, which is such a rare thing to see.
That's true.
Because of how easy it is to even accidentally complete a race bonus.
Yeah, he's actually going full divinity mages, and that is something very unusual. That's the reason why we see Warfoot's Sage on the battlefield also. Yeah, it's super good to see that, and it can definitely be super powerful, especially against the physical damaging builds, because the physical damage from like Hunters, or especially Glacier Knights and the Beast Warriors, doesn't pressure you enough, so you do get off a ton of extra spells as the game goes on. And if you find that God of Thunder, and even at 2-star with Orb Refresh, you have a really good chance to take home the entire lobby.
Level 3 Swordsman for Shredded. Even though he's been slipping down the leaderboard, this still looks like a strong enough composition, to my eyes at least. Let's see if that 3-star upgrade can save him. He's only level 8 right now. It is only around 24, so expecting him to be 9 like Jinsu is, I think is a little bit too harsh. But he is going to be winning this round. against Bomberin pretty easily. Some really good damage coming out from the swordsman.
Yeah, for sure. The 4 Agresses is kind of having diminishing returns if you have too much armor piercing, if you will, from the Agresses bonus. And it goes below 0 armor, is actually not as effective.
Yeah.
But if you get to play against another physical comp with a warrior frontline, it's actually really powerful. So it's really looking for those right matchups from now, and doesn't really want to play against, for example, the feathered player, which usually has low armor.
Got a couple of players right now on the cusp of being deleted. Yaken and Bomberin specifically. Bomberin's composition is going Beast Warrior, which we know how successful it can be in the mid game. But I don't know, it doesn't seem that he's even able to turn that mid-game success because we're not that deep into the late game, and he's already at 6 HP.
Yeah, looking really scary for Boomerang here. He has a lot of really bad matchups also. He has that Feather build, which is a bad matchup. He also has the Divinity build, which is a really bad matchup, honestly. And yeah, it's going to be tough for him to stay alive here. I'm not even sure what his good matchup is, if I'm going to be honest. Maybe the Glacier Knight players is usually a good matchup.
Maybe.
So if he can find the few Knight players that are in this lobby, he can definitely survive for a few more rounds, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see him drop out here just momentarily.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him. I mean, even having one level 1 on the field is not a good sign in the Werewolf. It's useful because it completes the Beast synergy, but outside of that, it's not going to survive too long. Level 2, just Berserker, and level 2 Doom Arbiter could be something. I think that's what he's going to be leaning back on, as well as the Ghost Ship from Pirate Captain, but up against Hosanna, who is currently in 6th place. So not the strongest unit composition you can imagine, but the damage just does not really seem to be there.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so he's broken through. Bomberin has gotten a couple of units destroyed, so he should be surviving for now. Yaken, though, and Hosanna, both all on the knife's edge.
Hosanna playing, actually, if we have a look at Hosanna's side, Hosanna's actually playing Fallen Witcher Warrior Glacier build, I believe.
He's stuck with the Witcher Glacier.
Yeah, it seems like it. Hasn't found a 3-star yet, however. If we have a look at Hosanna later, we're gonna see him with that exact build. Does also have the priest in it. Yeah.
It's 4 Glacial.
4 Glacier, Fallen Witcher, Taboo Witcher, 3 Warriors. It's a bit of a classic build, but I haven't seen it in ages.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a while, and he's at 14 HP, which means that it may not be the strongest, but at the same time, he's currently in 5th. There's a lot of players who are down in the bottom half of the leaderboard. We'll see how well this fares, though. It did just lose against Bomberin's own, as we called it, weak board. So I don't know, maybe... I think the only reason why he's alive is because of the fortune teller, if I'm being honest. A lot of 3-stars from Azu.
Run into the feathered build, and this is usually a tough matchup if the evasion kind of gets their own. If you're not very lucky against the evasion, and yeah, he's gonna get crushed there.
I think he's
out. Does
out.
have the pre-shield though, so I think no, he does actually go down exactly 14. I did not see that coming. All right, so Hosanna being out with this a little bit more of a conventional build, I guess we can say.
Boomerang just barely stays alive, loses the shredded, but only 1 unit remaining. He's down to 4 HP, so he's at least not going out first. He should at least be able to grab himself 1 more point if he can't climb any higher, but Yaken at 8 HP, Shake at 12 HP. It's getting to the point that we're going to start losing a lot of players, and we may start losing them within the same rounds.
Yeah, this is going to be insanely close between all the bottom here, and we can see even from Chuck all the way down to Hosanna before he went out has gone all in, because they all recognize that if I get a little bit of an extra edge, maybe I can survive for a few more rounds, and that means that tons of players will go out before me, and you only really care about getting that top 4, so good decisions on their part.
Going up against Shake right now, and Shake is running your classic, your traditional Glacial Knight build, and 3 stars on the Hell Knight and the Lightblade Knight is going to be way too difficult for Bomberin to stay alive. But also, Yaken goes out just moments after to the top player, Jinsu. It is now just Shake in the bottom 4. 5 players left. Jinsu with an all-right health lead, not the most we've seen, but at this stage in the competition, it's going to be difficult to keep your health too high for too long, and so 66 is, of course, something that needs to be applauded.
For sure. What did actually Jinsu lose to? Does he only have a 2? Let's have a look at the win streaks and see how Jinso has been. He only has a 2-round win streak. I wonder where he lost to with this God of Thunder 2-star.
I don't know. I mean, everything's
really
been all
like
mixing up.
he would really like a Siren 2-star at this point. It's especially good when you have both double divinity buff. It's like one of the strongest units in this setup for sure, but otherwise it's pretty much set actually.
Yeah, even with the number of 3-stars that Azu had on his board, Jinsu's board composition was more than enough to take care of it. But outside of Jinsu with 66 HP, it's pretty much an even slope down the way, 30 to 29. Actually, that's not even slope. It's basically separated tiers, 31, 29, and then 12 and 12. And so we basically know who is going to be more or less unless we see some amazing switch up between who is our first place, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah, and then the most interesting part here is gonna see who's gonna go out in 4th or 5th place, because there is a 2-point drop between 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
And both Shredded and Shake both had 12% here, so it's gonna be really down to the wire. Shredded really looking for that 3-star Dwarf Sniper, and that's gonna be his best bet to be able to come into top 4 in this game. Let's have a look at Shake, see what he's working with before the round begins here. If we have a look at Shake in a moment here, I'm sure.
Well, in either way, it's a good, successful round 30 for everyone. He's able to bring in, I believe, what was that an upgrade to? The Siren?
Yeah, the Siren 2-star.
Should be a
Shake
good
has
upgrade.
a very powerful, actually.
Orb of Refresh.
Nightwheel does find the Orb of Refresh for Azu on the Dark Spirit, which is probably one of the best units in the game to find it on.
Yeah, to say the least. Shake, despite being in 5th right now on 12 HP, is on a 3-round win streak, and he's got a good number of 3-star units.
Yep.
Most importantly, the Hell Knight and the Lightblade Knight, and then even the supplementary Egursus bonus up against Shredded, the next closest player in health. You might want to give this towards Shake's advantage.
Yeah.
The Ghost Ship does come in, but the stun, it gives a little bit of an opening for damage for Shredded's Hunters, but it may not be enough. Yeah, the damage is way too big for Shake. The Night Shields are just way too strong for Shredded to break through. Shredded, though, does win his own board against Chuck, so he's going to stay alive for at least a little bit longer.
Yeah, Shake is actually looking super strong. He basically has finished his setup pretty much. Like he's kind of, and he has all the best 3-stars you can get. Even Desperate Doctor is a little underappreciated at 3-star.
Speaking of 3-stars, 3-star Soul Reaper on the side of Chuck. That's not one of the common 3-stars that you see, but it's a good pickup anyway. Not one of the main carries of any real composition, but the extra healing coming out from the Soul Reaper should keep the units alive, but I am looking at this composition. It does seem to be a little
It's actually
strange.
Yeah, it is strange, and it's very uncommon to have a 3-star Soul Reaper. But it's actually a lot more stronger than it seems, because Chuck is also running the Divinity build, so that Soul Reaper is going to have even less cooldown on his spell. It's going to pump out that ult all of the time. However, he's playing against Jinso, which have the 2-star God of Thunder, is going to be way too much.
The silence there at the end was a little bit too much. Even the singles Storm Shaman on the side of Jinsu with the Divinity bonus, able to throw them out very, very quickly and keep that ability from popping off. Azu also loses, drops himself down to 16 HP, and so I said earlier, the tiers seem pretty established. That's not the case anymore. Shredded and Shake are both still at 12, but Azu and Chuck have lost half their life in the past couple of rounds.
Yeah, no, for sure. Shake probably is going to get somewhere in the top 3 even, I would assume, with his setup. He does need to start saving money, which he is, to be able to level up to level 9 to get his next power increase.
Azu, despite having the Orb of Refresh on the Dark Spirit, is on a 2-loss streak. Does have another level 3, a 3-star. I think this is actually the most we've seen on a single board. It's because there are Druids, but still, they're there nonetheless. Oh, that Storm Shaman, though.
Yeah, this is where the Druid starts to fall off, basically, around round 31 or even round 30 and further, I'd say, until the very late game. And Chuck actually goes out. Didn't see that coming a few rounds earlier.
I mean, yeah, his composition looked very, very poor, but Shredded, he does finally lose. 2 losses in a row is actually going to be what removes him from this. Azu also loses his own... No, Shake loses his own fight. He's going to go out as well. 3-1 round. Azu lost his fight, but he's still alive. Going to be fighting for second. Second place
Feathered.
master himself. With Feathered, yeah. I mean,
impressive.
if there's anyone who can turn Feathered into a second place, it's going to be Azu.
It seems like it's going to be Azu, yeah. One of the only players actually made this work at all, and does go up to 9 to get the Storm Shaman in. It's trying to find something that controls the God Divinity, because the thing is, as long as they stay alive, they're gonna get additional spells out every time. It's not like a normal mage build that has the initial burst and then they kind of try to clean up. As long as the God mage builds stay alive, the better they become. It's actually like consistent damage, and Storm Shaman can put an end to that by silencing them.
Even with the 2-star Divinity, though, it looks like, I was going to say it looked like Azu maybe getting the better of Jinsu on Jinsu's board, but nope. The Divinity bonus is just too powerful. I mean, look at the damage charts. Look at the damage coming out from the God of Thunder, almost breaking 10k.
Yeah. And also, he did
Azu
find
lost.
that 2-star Siren that we talked about previously. That's such a big increase in terms of power level with Double Divinity. It also has a 3-star Source, and that might seem like a fluff unit to most comps, but actually is really good when you have so much lesser cooldown, so you can actually cast the X spells from the extra mana you do get from the Source.
It's true, yeah. That's basically Source in most compositions is only used to get the first cast off.
Yeah.
Because the cooldown is generally too long to really have to care about how long it takes to get the mana. So the second and third cost with the Divinity bonus, you're going to want to get mana charged up as quickly as possible. Azu lost his round, but is staying alive at 1 HP. With Feathered, though, up against a full Divinity composition, it's going to have to be off of this item that gives him an advantage to try and win this game.
I don't even know what that item could ever be. It must be some kind of Rune Claw or something on a unit that goes unprecedented through the ranks, but I mean, even looking at Jinsu, he has a bank and is so close to upgrading like God of War 3-star here. Once he finds another, I'm sure he's going to use his egg even to complete that. Means he's going to get to put in a Storm Shaman, for example, another one, or maybe another God of Thunder. There's just... He has so much extra potential. Does find another 2-star God of Thunder. Holy smokes. This is going to hurt. I want to see this.
Scummy High Roller Jinsu with 2-star Gods of Thunder. I don't think there's anything that Azu can do to win this fight.
And there's one. Let's see. They're silenced. They're silenced. And they're gone.
And they're gone. Basically all but gone at this point. The Panda is summoned just a little bit too late. Took out a couple of units, a couple more units than we expected, but...
I actually low rolled pretty hard on God of Thunder. Sometimes they deal a lot of damage and sometimes they don't really deal anything.
Wow, Jinsu actually lost on his board, but fortunately for him, Azu also lost. And so he's going to go out in second place. Jinsu with another win. Game number 3 on our very first semifinal.
Yeah, and you know, that's nothing short of extraordinary. The turnaround we've seen from Jinsu. He got 7th in the first match here. The first out of 4, and then following that up with 2nd and 1st. So he's chilling at 17 points. I know we're going to have the scores later, but I've been doing the math because I'm antsy to see who's doing well. Chuck is at the top, 19 still, staying solid in 5th place. Something that really stuck out to me there, I forgot who amongst the commentators is a big Feather fan. Was it Scoundrel, I want to say? We talked about it yesterday, remember?
I know I don't like Feathered. I know Clayton especially doesn't like Feathered.
I think it was Scoundrel. Well, we'll have to confirm with him.
There's got to be him.
Right?
I think he said that he used to be a fan of Feathered.
That's what I remember. But do you think, I mean, I almost want to talk to Scoundrel right now because we saw Feathered from Azu there used quite well. I mean, this is a game where I feel like Azu, he started out obviously quite low. He was like 7th, 6th, but then he ended up in 2nd.
Yeah.
And then and that reminds me of what happened in the last game of the player who went Assassin. And it's like somewhat unconventional. You guys were talking about it, but because no one else is going for it, you're able to stack up some units that give you an advantage.
Right. Well, you start from a lose streak, and then when you're about to transition, you have all of these units that nobody's trying to take.
Right.
So if you get a high roll from all of those units that are still in the pool, and you hit your 3-star druids, it can propel you into the mid to the late game. And if you have a big enough of a lead at that point, you can get in and win an entire game. But you have to hit that right moment to high roll those druids when the time is nigh. Otherwise, you're just Yeah, you're just going to get steamed over.
I mean, are you playing a little bit slower and kind of reacting more as we see the match results here to kind of see what people are taking and then be able to transition into something like what we just saw from Ezu? I mean, clearly it was effective getting him second place.
I mean, I think it was effective because of how well his rolls turned out for him. The problem with a composition like Feather that relies on getting your units into the 3-star is it means that if you aren't able to find those units in the pack, well, I mean, so the difference between finding a 2-star and a 3-star is actually huge. You need 3 units for a 2-star. You need 9 for a 3-star. So if you don't find them, if you spend 50 gold, and even if you get 8 units, but you can't find the 9th, you're in a huge disadvantage. But he was able to find them. It's just, the problem is with those compositions that's unreliable. Chuck, though, as you mentioned, still in first place. We looked at the points from the last round, and the middle looked quite even. We're starting to see the separation at the bottom, though. Hosanna and Yaken, but Hosanna who won his group.
Yeah, and you know, they're low in that scoreboard, but mathematically they're not necessarily out. Obviously, a lot of things have to go their way, but not where Hosanna and that was Yaken, not where they want to be right now, but still very close amongst the middle of the pack. Again, we're looking for top 4. Top 4 is important here. So what are y'all expecting going into the last? This is going to be the last game of the semifinal. Give me some quick expectations of, you know, as far as core strategy is concerned. As far as, you know, what compositions are you going for at this point? We've seen a lot of variants, I think. Especially with like Feathered, with the assassin stuff. Like it's a little weird.
I think the meta in this lobby actually seems quite stable.
I don't know. I think it's super varied.
It's varied, but it's stable.
It's like this, especially these Korean players, I feel like they have a bigger toolbox. They just throw in like Fallen Witchers in there. And they just start playing God Mages. And there's just all of these comps that I haven't seen in a while. And it just kind of tilts the lobby on its head almost. We don't only see 3 different strategies. We see like 7.
Yeah, but what I mean though is that it doesn't seem like these players are in the process of figuring out what they can do. They know how to play different variables that are given to them, and even if it does mean that it's a wide range of compositions, I think this next upcoming round isn't going to look too different from what we've seen from the previous rounds. I don't think anyone has discovered something new that they haven't already figured out this far into the composition. They've played a competition. They've played 6 rounds of the event so far.
All right. Well, it's the last chance for a lot of these guys to try to make it into tomorrow. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with our final game for our first group semi-final here in the 2019 Auto Chess Invitational. We'll be right back.